Hi, yo. I'm here now. I'm here. I wasn't before. That was someone else. Hi. Hi. Uh, yeah. So, hi everyone. Thanks for the raid, Sleesh. Thank you, Emmy. Good night. Sleep well. Hold on. Okay. GB. So, yeah, I guess, like, last time I did this, I guess I'm just doing more of this. Like, I don't know. I didn't, like, prepare in any way. I'm just, like, explain, yap about stuff. So, I'll try my best, you know? That's, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Revisit is, like, actually, like, really not difficult. Like, the gameplay is, yeah. I think I used to super here, but then I chose to hit the spring because it's, like, maybe technically... it doesn't matter. Up right here, it's lenient. I guess, like, something I could explain is how screen transitions normalize you. Which is, like, you... Once you go far enough into the screen transition, it'll, like, normalize your X position. It'll completely normalize your subpixels. It'll round your speed to the nearest whole number. And, yeah. So basically, it depends on what frame you enter the transition on. And a dash moves at like 3 pixels per frame, so there's like a 3 pixel range to operate and get the same positioning. And that's just a demo there. Yeah, you know. That refill doesn't respawn. This right press is like a 6F, but if you mess it up, you can just like, I don't know, go over there or something. I don't actually remember the save. Hello, Pixel. This refill sticks out a pixel! Which is why you can do that. Down dash on room transition to be able to super and then room transition the next frame. That's what all like the room transition stuff is. You room transition on a frame, a certain frame. And then I've noticed you can dash like way further right than you think you. This upright demo is a 7F. Buffer that works. Good morning, cat. Yeah, this room sure is room. This is another thing, like, technically I could do super safe strats, but at a certain point you do have to prioritize speed and, like, comfort a little bit. Hyper. Here's where I remembered to turn off alerts. Wall kick lines up that gap. Overall doing good. That is an up demo so you don't bonk, so that you take more time, so that the refill respawns quicker, and you can do this. And also this is a demo, so that you, again, can just do another left dash and make it. Pixel NF I used here was this bright spot in the wall. I lined up her hand with it. I think that key's easier than doing intended, like, absolutely, which is funny. It's this is a bino clip, which is, if a spinner is off camera, it won't have its... That's an oversimplification. Okay, you know what? Hold on. Lock in. Hop on a hazard cycles .docx. So if you can look at this if you want. This is a whole sheet. But if it's off screen, which off screen counts as being like 2 tiles past the camera border or something like that, then it will eventually turn off collision and it'll only turn on collision. And yeah, so basically, Hazard Chromodynamics. It's such a good name. All this is really is the spinner is off screen. It doesn't have a hitbox, and you can dash through it quickly. Specifically, what I do is I use my dash only keys so that if I miss the buffer, I'm not gonna hold right and walk into the spinner and die. So yeah, I think this is like either a 6, 7, or 8F. I never checked this myself. I think I remember hearing that. Something like that. Depends on spinner cycle. There's an exit block. If you enter this room too far, the ceiling will get blocked off, and this left path is harder. And it doesn't have a key on this version. It does in new, but not in this version. So, you do a right dash really soon. And then this right dash is like a 6F or something. It's just like as late as possible. These gaps are what they are. Core block. Love this core block. I love this core block too. There's like 3 core blocks in 0 meters, and you have to use 0 of them. Hi, Amelia. You do stalling to make that up dash easier. I'm sure the reason is like pretty clear. Technically, you can do a neutral and then an upright, and then you'll be lined up to hit the spring. But for some reason, that scared me. Like, it does work all the time, but it's the type of thing where it just got in my head, so I just didn't do that and just hit the spring raw. Crazy stuff, I know. This is like bottom however many pixels. I think I used the pixel above this as a visual cue, but there's a couple pixels below to also work. When I pick out visual cues, sometimes there's like a thing where there's like 3 pixels that work, and like you know, I try to pick visual cues that I'm not gonna die getting into or by like messing up that are easy to remember, like as nice as they can get. I try to get as few pixel lineups as possible because I think they're annoying to memorize, especially in a 2-hour map. If you just have to memorize so many visual cues, it kind of sucks. So I try to do that as little as possible. You gotta make sure to not do this climb jump too soon, because otherwise you'll bonk, your speed will be downwards, and the conditions for grabbing will be met, and this thing will fucking slam you. So don't do that. That happened in, like, I think practice once, yeah. What if you want to be slammed? Then you can do that climb jump early. What if you want to get slammed? The option remains for you. There's a little thing worth noting here, which is that my movement for speed is to do a down left and then a right into a super. But you cannot buffer this right dash because you're going to be crouched from the down left. And if you do the right dash, if you buffer the right dash, it'll also be crouched and it'll be a hyper, which is not what you want. So do not buffer this right dash. To the what? So, like middle-ish of this block, very lenient. Climb down a bit. I go to the bottom pixel here. Secretly, I might have almost died there. Out of curiosity, let's just see. I'm actually kind of curious. It would be silly if I did. Oh, true. This is end of trust. Almost there. Where are we? Oh. Ah. What are we doing? That is end of 500 meters. A little too excited. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like I almost died here. Yeah, I think if I held down for one more frame, I might have died. Yeah. So, like, try not to do that. Try not to do that. It happens. I don't know. There's so much just casual movement that being like a frame off of dying will happen. You have to hold right a little bit here. And when you do like uprights on things, there's like... You can do this upright whenever because you have... This cancels your attain speed and you have no horizontal speed. The horizontal speed you get is from the dash ending, which sets your speed. And you'll always live. And also for speed, and I guess like, just because it's funny, I do that, and that's like getting, it's like high up. It doesn't matter. I think you have to jump on the last 4 frames of this hyper in order to make it. For which hyper is a 5-frame window. If you don't know. Worth noting, I do a repressive jump to have slow fall so that this turnaround is easier. I climb to roughly the bottom of it. I think that's the same visual cue as the one earlier that I was a pixel low on. Which, that's another useful thing. Yeah, and then like middle of this block, not precise at all. The jump height on this hyper for the bunny hop is a 4F. Also, if you buffer everything on some of those frames, you'll die, so I don't buffer everything. I don't actually know what I do. I have no idea what I do, but his not failed, so I was doing it good. I feel like I might have buffered everything this time, but it was on a frame where it worked. Yeah, so that was a buffer. That was a buffer. Okay, so I just buffered like them all. Like, not that one, but it worked. I don't know. This is like, there's like some things that are like, there's where I don't actually know what I'm doing, but I've played it enough that I will not mess it up. Like, I can't describe how to do that. I can't fully describe how to do this. I just know that I do it. And do like, yeah, this cycle kind of just lines up. Before I used to look at it, but then I started doing this room at the same pace every time, and it's like, I think I still look at it, but like I know what cycle it's on. Hi. I just timed out. I didn't actually have a visual cue for that or anything. Just a side note here, make sure you don't hold grab and up and then grab this wall and then climb up into the spike. Just say, that would never happen to me, of course, but... Yeah, this is, you can do like some going under stuff. I'm not about that. I just went intended. These like, your spacing on dashes is of course not even. Like, you're going down quite fast. Like, faster than you go. Like, it's, there's nuance. Also, demo wall bounce so that you do not die. You might actually still die. If you're like too far right. I don't actually know. This is 5 up dashes for moon cycle timing. Less than max height wave dash. I tried to do that jump early so that I don't like have extras. I actually don't think it matters. This is a demo wall bounce, not for any like distance to make it over here, but just so that relative to this spike, you're gonna hit the spike later. So if you're late on the jump input, it'll be more fine. Yeah, revisit is not hard to explain. It's revisit. Though I am 20 minutes into the stream, but also like 7 of that was the starting zoom screen. Those blocks. That's kind of Yuri. if you think about it. But my strat here is, which is basically where the whole moon cycle. By the way, moon blocks, they go down 8 pixels and up 8 pixels, so the tile variance. So what I do is I wait for it to go up 2 pixels, then I hit the spring, and then I do an up dash. This is to let the moon block rise, and then the moon block is like as high as it gets. Yeah. Welcome to 1,000 meters. What the hell? Wait, why did I do that? I tried to do a hyper bunny hop and it just didn't work. That's kind of sad. I missed the buffer jump. That's a tragedy. Yeah, so this is all normalized. Be sure to hold left here, otherwise you will corner correct. I did this wrong. My strat is to not demo here, but alas. But also it doesn't really matter. Visual cue is this empty spot and the thing. You can just upright max height, yeah. I think I don't know. No idea, Cole. Good question. I would assume middle? I would assume middle. And then it starts at a random point in its cycle based on the, like, room seed. Yeah, that's, I mean, you get it, right? That's just, you get it. Bottom of this flock, I use, like, these background tiles as sort of a visual cue to dash. Make sure to not go too early. It is a little more lenient than it looks, because, like, entering dream blocks is a little funny. Like, look at this, okay? So, like, pretend like there's like an obstacle like here. It'd be like, oh shit, I'm looking like I'm gonna hit that obstacle, but no, because that happens the first frame you touch it, and then you enter. It's like a little more lenient because of how that works. Which I don't actually understand why it works like that. I mean, that's just how it does. It, like, you collide and then you enter it. Wall bounce to line this up. This is for horizontal subpixels. Be sure to hold left into the wall, so that this spike doesn't kill you and you can just down right here and enter this queue room. I do go to the bottom pixel here before room transitioning, which is 1 pixel gap of air there. You don't need to do all that, but I do. I literally died to this in a run once. You can just hold down left, but I didn't find a strat for it because I didn't really think there would be any, or think there would be much of a need to do that. Funny thing about this, though, is that normally, okay, so normally when you get out of, like, a dream block, where's a horizontal dream block that I can look at? Okay, so, like, normally when you get out of a dream block, the first frame you can dash looks like this. Like, you're quite out of the dream block before you can dash. But in a dream block that disappears, the first frame you can dash is, I'm pretty sure this is true, at least. Is it not? What? Okay, I must be thinking. Okay, let's go to the actual room I'm talking about. Because I swear there was something here that I'm, like, talking about. Like, I don't think you can buffer this. Am I insane? Like, You know, I thought this was a weird interaction. I might have just, like, made it up. But, like, how did I make this up? Like, what could happen to possibly make me make this up? I'm actually like, okay, hold on. Now I'm wondering what the hell happened to my brain. It's apparently you just can buffer that, and that was wrong. So, what? Is it a depth thing? Am I insane? Like, I swear that this was like not a thing. I swear that you weren't able to just do this. Okay. I think I'm just wrong. I don't know, I'm confused. Because I for some reason I thought the fucking buffer frame was like a frame earlier. On the destroyable dream blocks, but it's just like kind of not. And now I'm like weirded out. Okay, so I guess I was like purposely not buffering this for no reason. And then slide against the block, I use the face and this white part as a visual cue. Normally visual cues in dream blocks suck, but if it's new to top or bottom, it's manageable. Hold, climb down and left. Again, actually. There's two of those. That's funny. Oh, that's true! No, I need to point this out. Look at that. That dream block right there, it kind of looks like a deceiver. It looks like it's a dream block that's actually there. But if you try to dash through it, it goes away. It's so funny. You gotta re-enter this room because the refill doesn't respawn. I hope for like when this is on its way up, like the second time. I mean, there's not that much to say with this. It is what it is. Yeah, me too. That pixel or lower you can rate demo, I believe. You want to do that movement kind of quickly so that you're on the same cycle here when it's like on the near its peak. Also, corner correction is mean. Make sure to not get corner corrected to death. Though that doesn't actually matter for like these springs. At least like it's not. Like if you enter a dream block and you're like going up and there's spikes on the side, you will die to the spikes on the side, but you don't have a risk of hitting the springs is what I mean. I have a pixel line up here, which is like foot on this line. In general, doing pixel lineups on these tiles is kind of horrid and sucks. I hate doing pixel lineup on these tiles because they're so repetitive. Look, it's literally like the same. It is so snowy out. Like it's like a snowstorm moment. But pixel lineups on these generally suck, but this one is like not as suck than like about when it's at the top. What you're seeing here is a reset of subpixels. Because if you do... Okay. Technically, this is more normalized than the average thing, but... No way, Coil. Actually, it's not really. But if you do, like, one climb jump, it's not always going to be the same. You'll either get, like, 0.3 or 0.5. I'm getting 0.3 every time, but... You want to do 2 climb jumps so that you have 0.5 horizontal subpixels. Then walk it away, and then do that. That's the setup. So this is the funny S-pop room, which stands for spike ceiling pop. Except for the fact that I choose to not do it because I kind of think it's harder. There's this setup with a wall kick there. You know. This is a setup to barely not grab this wall. Because I didn't think that weird buffer was worth it when... I don't know, it's just an up dash and fit into the gap. I think it was less consistent for me, and I didn't want to do it. Uh-oh. Secret alert. I line up at the top of Madeline's face with the spikes there, bottom of the spikes, though it is not at all precise. I did just pick a pixel for it. I start my movement here when the stream block reaches that background tile just about, and that lines it up pretty well. And you can see what I'm doing. I don't need to explain it when it's just like, yeah, look. If you demo, you will grab crouched. She doesn't look crouched, but I promise you she has a crouched hitbox. That makes this spike a lot less of a threat. But if you're doing that and you ever move down, you'll uncrouch. So keep that in mind. Also, if you press dash, you'll uncrouch. So that's why you dash when you pass the spike. And I do a little climb up too. This is a left dash similar to that one revisit 0 meters one. You got a bunch of frames for it. Wait for that block to fully sync. Okay, but like I literally swear, like the first time I was learning this, I was like, okay, so you can't... Hold on. Hold on. This may be an arc that goes nowhere, but I literally like... Unless it's like... Wait... Was it maybe, I have an idea. I have an idea of what it might have been. Oh, was it like freeze frames? Oh, it's because I'm holding grab. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was thinking of. That's what I like gaslit myself over. I swear I came to like the wrong conclusion on this. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I just lost it over time. Okay, yeah, you can green grab spiked one use blocks, and you want to make sure to not do that. Want to make sure to not do that. Even with a left dash. That's okay. Okay. I understand what I meant now. Sort of. It was still kind of wrong, but... I choose specifically not to demo this up left to not risk going under. These neutrals are pretty safe, but watch out. If you do this neutral too high, you might corner correct here and it might push you far enough right and you die to this spike. That's a danger. Don't do that. There's plenty of stamina. Here I just line up in the middle of this and go when you're lined up with this pillar in the background. Then I do a neutral, do a right press when I'm like well past this, like a couple frames past it. Like it's actually secretly like a little precise, but it's also fine. I think I died to this in a segment run once and then was more careful about it ever since. You want to make sure to go fast, which I kind of failed here initially, which is why I re-enter. But my strat is to go fast so that you can hold left after this orb and just go up here and do this easy movement. Here I do another crouch grab. I think it's entirely unnecessary. I do a release of grab to uncrouch. And then here you could like think about the climbing you're doing, but I just do a jump, 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 up dash, jump. Note that you can wall bounce. You can neutral off the right side, or you can climb jump off the left side, depending on what you do. The right wall has priority when you are between both, but you can still grab the left wall and jump off it. Funny stuff. Yawns at you. Silly bully. Yeah, this is a down left. And yeah, this up dash is actually not easy at all. You can fail it. Watch out. Visual cue was just using all of the dust all the dust. Visual cue here is below the painting. I do the left dash. Try to not trigger these spikes. That would be bad. And then yeah. There's plenty of nuance with these screens, given the nature of cycles. That's again another double climb jump to reset subpixels. Then you hold down, which I guess you don't need to do, but I guess I chose to do it. Oh yeah, it's because you don't have to time a grab release or anything. Yeah. So you just press left and grab the wall, and then you're set up to where this entire pixel, which I used the visual cue of her hand being like there on the wall, lets you hold down and right and do a corner jump here. But not a max height corner jump, because that's a danger. Just tap gently onto this, go like a little after this guy settles down here. This obstacle is hard, just like, I do a tiny jump and then another jump press to slow fall to make it easier. And go up here, wait until, like, you know, that guy's been over. There's nuance to the timings. I don't think I need to explain every nuanced timing I have here, but, like, wait a little bit there so that you can do this, you know? Like, I think just by looking, you can get the timing. I do these 4 up demos to, again, get the keys out of the way, like that one curiosity room. And then my timing cue is this guy, these guys move up, and then this one moves left slightly after, and then you know that's the good cycle on this one. Also, these guys look all weird because they're covered by solid tiles, so their sprite hasn't properly, like, initialized. They do have a normal hitbox, despite how small and scrunkly they may look. Try not to die to the top here. You can actually get this key by multiple means. You can, like, demo through here and transition quick. That's kind of dangerous. Yeah. But I chose not to get this key. This is the devious 1.5k key. They're all tiny. The slowdown from walking lets you up dash corner correct. Visual cue, I actually use the ears, so that means my skin mod helped me, and the run should be disqualified. And then you climb down here, do a wall kick away. This lines you up very good for a hyper, but you have to be sure that it is a down right. Like, if you don't do a down diagonal and instead do a demo, you'll not extend because the demo spends... It's true, it's true. Doing a down right like this, because this comes up kind of often on a 2-tile thing, is I don't actually know how many pixels. I know this is the first pixel that, like, consistently works, but then some of this pixel also works. So it's like 2 and something pixels, 2 and like 2.6 pixels that works. So yeah, that general thing for that. Leftmost 2 pixels are the only ones where the entire pixel's safe, but still. So you want to make sure to do a down right hyper. Now I mention that because there was one time I failed in a segment run by accidentally releasing down too soon and demoing and not extending. So you need to make sure to not do that. Like, make sure you actually do that is a down right dash. Okay. This is true. And then time it like when they're about to go up. It's all. It was earlier than I thought to jump here. I mean, it's timings. There's not that much I can say about it. It's timings. Only thing here, I guess, is these two uprights are kind of quick, so you don't hit this top guy ever. Yeah. This is a strat. Make sure to release right soon enough. And also make sure to keep holding jump to... I believe that's important? And then you roll bonk Oshiro. I don't actually know if that's true. Maybe the holding jump there doesn't matter, but you still probably should. And also make sure to release right. And yeah. So then you do that. And then the speed at which you do this next stuff, like, impacts... Where basically you want to like go like sort of fast-ish so that this does funnies in like a nicer spot. And then the timing of like this right upright is variable depending on your movement. Just you get good at it. Buffer demo wall bounce, demo right there. Yeah. Ba 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 ba. There's one fast bubble there. Yay! I thought there was like a ruff in that message, but there wasn't. You just said W and stuff. But yeah, my timing, I go here is like a little before these guys go, and then it's 6 right dashes. There is a key room here, and it is extremely funny. And by showing it off, I think you'd understand why I don't do it. Here's this key room. I didn't even like look at this key room. I didn't even like try to, cause there's no way to like. There's no way. This room's great. This is one of the best rooms. Yeah. Good room. Do not do that in a golden run unless you want to. Here I start this when like this thing is kind of there. You know what I mean? Slow bubble all this, buffer all this. This extra important that you get this buffer off because you can die to this top guy. So I actually do a first dash press here to make the buffer timing easier, which is why I do all this in that way. And then, yeah. Slower than you think here, maybe? This is another one where you want to just get far enough right that you do the super and you screen transition the next frame. Then 3 jumps here, 1 small. Yeah. Yeah. I line up with like this line to be the top of Madeline. You can barely see it. Then I wait for the dust bunnies to go past and I climb up a bit. Which I don't think that's actually like, I don't know. That's what I do. And then baiting. That's true. This jump I time like not when it's vertical, but when it's a little before vertical. Took you longer than all 1500 meter rooms combined? It would do that, yeah. Good room. I do a demo press here. Normally if you buffer this, it's gonna be crouched anyways, but like I do a demo press because in case I miss it, it'll still be demoed. And it's like, it is what it is. This strat works very consistently. Make sure to up dash late enough. Make sure you're in a good left horizontal position here. It works. I fast fall here too. I sort of use the snow-ish as a visual cue. There's a lot less ground here than it maybe looks like. You're being stared at. Look at their eyes. That's crazy. Visual cue is like when that is about to reach that is what I use. Here is where I like introduce you to like one major thing about my philosophy grinding this. Like, normally, like, when I die to something, I might want to, like, look at it and try to find out a better strat to do it. But, like, because I died to this wall bounce one time, right? I drifted left too early and I landed on the block and the guy killed me. It was a little, like... But... Like, I could have found a new strat for that. I could be doing, like, something slower, something different. But, like, I don't... That would be more to memorize and it would make it take longer, and I'm not playing the map like that. So, I chose to just not change my strat and to just, like, not die there. And just, like, pay attention. Be aware of how half grav will impact your trajectory and such. As soon as this goes down right, jump. As soon as this is like horizontal or a little past it, jump right on the cloud, you know, stuff. This is exactly what it looks like. I don't need to explain this so much. You get it, surely. Look, 1 hour, almost. You get it. You get it. That guy's at the bottom. God, I'm sleepy? How much should I sleep? I mean, like, it was an okay amount. But yeah, I'm sleepy. The song goes... One time I failed this reverse super for some reason. Don't do that. Okay, so I did choose to demo this up, right? So, like, watch out, because the ground can kill you. I think I was actually kind of close to that. That was fucked up. The ending of that song was fully in my right ear, and it was messing with me. Goes in my left ear? Thank you. Now there's something in both of my ears. So, I don't actually fully know how this works. Yeah, so when a block starts moving, it starts moving slower and you have less lift boost. It takes like a couple frames for it to reach its full lift boost. So that's why you want to wait a couple frames after they start. So that it's not weird, like a... Like, I made that weird myself. Like, you don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that it gets you full lift boost. Besides that, this room's just like a little difficult, but it's not that much. I suppose, like, normally you have like 4 directional keys, but it's usually like these 3 fingers you're mainly going to be pressing them with, at least me. I think Enox uses his thumb on left or something, and that's crazy work. It's probably technically better, but... For, like, I use 3 fingers. For this obstacle in particular, I moved my index, or my middle finger above my index finger, so that I could hold both down and up at the same time. Which, yeah. So that redirects up, but you don't risk uncrouching and making the timing tighter. You want to be far enough right here so that you can release down so that you do a right dash instead of a down right, so you go further and then demo under. Dashes aren't affected by wind, but regular movement is. This is just movement. Didn't I almost die here? No. Thinking of a different run. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Did I almost... Wait, hold on. Was I, like, almost too low? No? Okay. Jeez, I'm tired. I'm tired. Did you know? Sleepy. But... So what I said about... Remember the funny diagonal steerable move blocks? That also applies to these. Look at your vertical lift boost. I'm moving up, but... Here I have lift boost, here I have lift boost, here I have a lift boost, here I don't. Here I do, here I do, here I don't. Here I do, here I do, here I don't. Don't. Like, it's basically luck if you get lift boost or not. So what I tried to do is never get lift boost to make it normalize. It's less important on this one than a screen later, but I try to release up before I jump. It's something. Okay. So that's that. Notice the up release is there. And this just kind of works. Make sure to buffer this up dash because you can be too far right to wall bounce sometimes. And sometimes you might be like, it might look like you're almost too far left, like you're gonna go under the block. But do keep in mind, wind doesn't affect your speed, it just moves you a set amount every frame, which is different. So corner correction checks your speed. And as long as you don't have leftward speed here, you'll corner correct. So even though I'm moving left, even though it sort of maybe looks like a threat, it's not because you'll just corner correct. And then this is a, like, hard... It's a cool obstacle. I like these blocks, honestly. If only they didn't lift boost scam you. I think... I could be mistaken, but I think this was another one where, like... Yeah. Wanna, like, make absolutely sure you stay on the block long enough to get full lift boost. This wall bounce into turnaround is, like, hard. I don't know. There's definitely nuances to it that I picked up over time. Just do it big. And, yeah, so... The concept here is these give you... it's, again, like, it takes a couple frames for it to give you its full lift boost. And then it stays on its full lift boost for, yeah, it looks like just 10 frames. And then it stops. So you have to learn how to hit that window. It's funny. Oh yeah, and then this turnaround is, like, also hard. Like, it's just two difficult turnarounds. It's two difficult turnarounds, but they're not too difficult turnarounds. Here I wait for the moon block cycle to be moving down. Okay, smart gaming. Smart gaming. Smart gaming. Smart gaming. Smart gaming. Smart gaming, smart gaming. And smart gaming and smart gaming. But smart gaming. Smart gaming. And then... This right there, you actually have to do, like, pretty good to get enough distance, and also do this upright, like, later. I think. Yeah, later would be better. Scary obstacle right here. After your dash ends, you kind of have, like, not much speed at all. Especially because of the wind. Yeah, the backgrounds in Summit are amazing. It's true. There's, like, there's the fake dream block. There's the curly 500 meter thing. There's the oh, whoa. In 1.5K. It's good stuff. Yeah. I'm stretching. You can't instant hyper here, so you do a slightly non-instant hyper. Make sure to climb down on this block, because otherwise you have a chance of falling too far right if you just hold right and falling past the platform. So you climb down to not have that happen. I try to collide this so I get good retained speed and, like, make it over, I'm pretty sure. So I corner glide. It's an intentional corner glide, but also if you don't, it's also fine. This is another one where you don't want to instant hyper. You can write demo there, I don't. Better on analog. That's loss. Like, that block is loss. Fun 9 defect. This room is smaller than a normal room allows, which is why it's, like, so weird. It's why it's a small little room. Tiny room. Good stuff. It's also really easy. It's a really easy key. Just demo wall bounce. Do that. Yeah. If you transition one frame after hypering here, which you can guarantee easily, and then release jump, and then do this buffered. I believe this upright is a 4 frame, where the visual cue I used was, like, not something I fully, like, can say, but I definitely have it in my mind. It's like this plant and this background tile and something, I don't know. And then, but not only that, so stamina is tight. If you don't do anything about stamina, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be possible, but it's gonna be hard. Like you can make it. But what I do are these little climb boosts, which is I'm holding jump so I have slow fall. I climb up to speed, and then I release grab. And then Madeline, like, whoo, goes up a bit. And those save you stamina, so that it is less tight. Secretly, whenever I don't flash red in this room, I get a little sad because, like, it's like different. You grab this block differently, but it doesn't actually really matter. Just like jump, buffer, wall kick, like, pretty high off the screen here, and you'll make it through this gap. That's my shot. Chat's talking about things at this point in the run. Okay, so this snowball trigger starts, like, when you do this up dash, so ever since then you have to be normalized. Which is you want to make sure you start falling before you do this right dash. Actually, no, I don't think that matters. But this is, you know, before when I was talking about, like, 12F jumps, where you, like, don't get, where you release jump between jump timer and slow fall frames to get the same height. You want to do that here, because if you just do a full jump, this next snowball will spawn too high, and you won't be able to hit it. So my strat is 12F jump off the snowball here, and make sure you fall enough. And then slow bubble down, buffer right, you know. Make sure you fall enough, and also do this dash low enough. There's a bunch of nuances. Average snowball gameplay. Also worth noting, a snowball's hitbox A snowball's hitbox looks like that, which if you'll pay attention, you might notice that the bounce box sticks out 1 pixel further than the kill box. So depending on like camera position and Madeline's position relative to the camera, you know, you can just stay on this wall and hit it and it won't kill you. Because it'll always hit you on that 1 pixel. I make sure to hold jump before I grab the wall so that I don't have to worry about accidentally like wall kicking or doing anything. Now this is a strat where you skip a trigger. Again, if we look in... Actually, worth mentioning too, you go over here in the first place because there's a wind trigger, which makes the wind, like, yeah. It makes the wind rightwards. I believe it does that. And in here there's another wind trigger. One which you can go under. This wind trigger makes the wind left, and it kind of is bad. Having this wind is like with the snowball, hard to deal with. It is a lot easier with the right wind, and that is why you go over there and then skip this trigger. Is so you can keep right wind. Jump pretty early off that. Shout out this off right. It's pretty tough, especially because oftentimes you'll uncrouch into the top spinner, so it's like the demo doesn't really give you much leniency. It gives you some for sure, but like it's a hard upright. Okay, I need to mention, I died here by right dashing in this bubble 2 times. It is like the only time there's an obstacle in past first third that I died to more than once. And it's just because my hands got confused and my hands and brain got confused. So try your best to not have that happen. But yeah. I line this up, make sure it's not too low. It does a little corner right there. But I just do that, and then I do all this relatively fast, and it works. That bubble is not necessarily as fast as possible. Here, I get, like, here on the block, so that... Okay. So you need to move the block. You want to move the block up so that you have more time to wall bounce off of it here. But in order to do that, you have to move it up. Stop moving it up because the lift boost it will give you will be inconsistent. And then jump off it towards the left and do this wall bounce. And then you just like barely make it here in time. This is a extremely difficult obstacle. Yeah, that's that. Also, I aimed to get lift boost on this wall bounce, which means that the block needs to push me so that the block needs to push me. You need the block to push you. And the block isn't necessarily moving the fastest, so the window for that is like, it's pretty chill. I hit it by doing a buffered full jump here, and just a little right movement before I do these dashes, and then that makes it line up pretty well. Hyper bunny hop. If you fail it, you can go back. Make sure to demo this so you don't bonk. Wow, it's a core block. I think you have to jump in coyote time, but I don't even know if that's true. You cannot buffer this jump because you will go under this block, so don't do that. I tried to line up like the, foot at the bottom of this tile. I jump when the snowball's about in the middle there, and then I just down right onto it. I don't have a visual cue for the down right, I just time it. Wait for the snowball again, go up here, make sure it's not all buffered. Neutral climb jump on the left plus. Then I line up on this pixel, foot at the bottom here, and then do a neutral into a neutral climb jump. Which is not, like, it's chill. Then pixel line up here is one pixel of gap between ears and the ceiling. and this makes you always like as high as possible. And now I want to just explain how snowballs work. I don't necessarily have to do this, but it's kind of quite funny. So here, I should be able to like pull up the code. I should be able to hop on IL Spy. Here. Okay, that didn't work. Hold on. Add window capture. Create new IL Spy. Okay, look, it's Celeste. Here, I'll put it like below me. Where am I? Where's my face cam? Am I like where am I? Hey. Okay, so if we look in the snowball code here, where is it? So yeah. 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 Oh, here it is. Okay. So, a snowball is going to increase reset timer by delta time every frame, which is 0.01666667, however many sixes. I think it's like 5. And it does that until it reaches 0.8. So every 8/10 of a second, it's gonna, like after 8/10 of a second, it's gonna try to reset the position. And then what this code here looks like it's supposed to do is set the reset timer to 0.05, which is 3 frames. What it wanted to do, I can pretty confidently state this, is that the snowball would go off screen. It would take 8/10 of a second to check if it can respawn. Okay. So it does that, and then it was supposed to check every 3 frames. But see, the thing is, that doesn't happen. It sets it to 0.05, and then it increments it until it reaches 0.8 again. So it's every like 30 something frames that it tries to spawn a snowball, which is not intended. It's clearly not what the code is meant to do. But that's what it does. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, you're blocking the snowball from spawning here. It's checking if it can spawn every 30 frames. Ish. Not 30. Every, 8/10. Well, how many frames is it in a tenth? 6? So, that would be every 48, but it's every, like, 45 frames, I think? The snowball's checking if it can spawn. Basically what that means is there's going to be up to 45 frames of variance, I could be wrong on that number, on when this guy spawns. Now, this doesn't matter, but that is a thing. Fun fact! Like, it literally doesn't impact your gameplay at all. I timed this hyper about when I was near the orb. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, but that is a thing. That was one of my favorite fun facts about the game, that it very clearly wants it to check for respawning every 3 frames, but see, it doesn't count down from 0.05, it counts up to 0.8. So, yeah. Buffer 3 down dash is up dash. If you missed this, it's fine. Because there's left wind here, you can actually like just bonk on this and not corner correct if you're up too high, so try to not do that. Shut your mouth, stand up when I talk. I'm as far as a buffer jump. It's a buffer jump. Wow. I think you cannot buffer this because you'll die to the side spikes. Try to go to the bottom here, do an ungrab, regrab to line up that. Yeah, it's what it's normalized movement. That's very true, Deca. It's pretty good. Down left here. I don't think that can squish you. Actually, I want to check that because I'm literally just unsure, and I want to know. I'm stupid. Like, you can't get crushed here, but it can push you down. So I just do that and then climb up a little bit after. Nice try. Let's line up right now. I can move forward. I line up on this pixel, foot at the bottom of that dark part. Down dash and like jump, and it puts you in a similar good spot. Like, you can't just be at the top of this spot because you'll hit this spinner. But the down dash jump setup works. I have a tendency to maybe hold down too long here, so try not to do that, even though it doesn't matter. It affects like the trajectory you go, and it can throw you off. Now, before you do this climb jump, you want to climb up all the way, because if you don't, then you can die to this spinner. So make sure to climb up all the way. But that's going to use stamina, and you don't want to be flashing red, so you climb up all the way on this side, but you don't climb up on this side. You wait to do your climbing up here, so you can start flashing red, but you're already grabbing the wall, so it's fine. Then you're grabbing this wall at the top of it, and you can just full jump right, and you make it there. Shut up. There's like a little aspect of stamina management here. Make sure you don't use too much stamina so you're flashing red to grab this, but like it's kind of whatever. Oh, here's actually a thing I messed up. So you do this to get this guy on the recoil and you can just grab it, which I did, but then I released for the neutral too soon and it pushed me off, but luckily I have reaction time. So I just repeated it. So this is a pretty precise neutral, like you can't lose too much height. Neutral into up left. You'll grab this barely, and then grab the block. If you miss it, you go back and do it again, just like I showed earlier. Oh yeah, fun Celeste fact. So, look at, for instance, I suppose, here, I'm in this room, right? And, oh yeah, fast bubble, by the way, so that the downwind affects you less on the first up left, so that the up dash has a lot more timing. There's nuance to it. You can figure out the nuance. I don't know. Look at how I'm just like chilling at the top of this block. Like, I'm not moving up and down at all. But if you look at, thanks for the raid, Winter. Hold on, I'm explaining a funny. But if you look at Madeline here, she's kind of like going up and down like crazy. This is because, if you, thanks for the raid, Winter. I hope you had a good stream. Hi everyone. Hi Miss Chian. Hi Abdul. Jeff, hello. This is because entering a room gives Madeline a different depth than having died and retrying in the room. So this is like pretty purely visual in this case, I think. But this can have some not purely visual effects, which we'll get to in Sunrise Running and Plural. Little foreshadowing there, but yeah, look at her bouncing up and down. That happens in downwind on the room entry, but not on retry. This is a weird obstacle. When you dash out of a bubble, it's gonna give you, like, look at this, okay? That kills me. You might be like, what the hell? But the thing is, if you slow bubble, there's one extra stationary frame as opposed to not sloveling. Did I just say sloveling? I don't know if I did or not. Am I insane? But so basically what that what that means is that the buffer timing for slow bubbling. Okay, so like pay attention. If I fast bubble, I do the up dash like here. Like there horizontally, right? But if I slow bubble, I'm further right. I'm 4 pixels further right because the buffer frame is 1 frame sooner. So you have to that was completely accidental. In order to fit through this gap like this, you have to slow bubble. Slow bubble up left into right, which is a little bit of an awkward timing. Doing anything else, like going up here and like wall bouncing or whatnot, is like hard. And I did not think it was worth it. I thought this was the best strat for this. And then as long as you're like pretty close to the middle here, or like somewhat near the middle, you're gonna fit in this gap fine after an up diagonal. Fast bubble here to make sure you don't die to this, because again, there you want the later buffer frame. The frame window is 5F. All buffers are 5F, unless there's something making it so that you can't do the action on some of the earlier frames of the buffer window. Like hitting a dash crystal while already having a dash. Then that would be a 4F. I do a wall kick here so that I don't hit these spikes. I think it's actually grabbing these spikes, which is the issue. Which is funny. Jump about as these guys go up. Yeah. I died to this room once. Just because I forgot what to do. This is a 3 frame. If you see like this out of a red bubble, like this type of wall bounce, it's a 3 frame. But it is also one of the easiest types of 3 frames because the visual cue is extremely clear and you're moving at like a good speed. So yeah. So it's do that, 3F wall bounce, and then 5 jump neutral, and then do an up demo buffer wall bounce here. And then you don't start holding right. You do the wall bounce holding neutral, and then you start holding right. To slow down a bit. You can hold up for this. Oh yeah, actually here's another fun fact. That thing I said about slow bubble buffering, sort of only applies to red bubbles, but not actually. So look at this green bubble, right? It doesn't matter if I fast bubble or slow bubble it, I'm gonna end up exactly here. Watch. Fast bubble, I end up on that pixel. Slow bubble, I end up on that pixel. But it still does the thing. It still does the thing where you have 1 less frame of dash cooldown. In fact, look, my dash cooldown's out here, but I can't dash because I'm in dash state already. So that's why it doesn't work at green bubbles, it puts you in dash state. But this does mean that if you cancel the dash, then slow bubbling versus not slow bubbling actually does have an effect. Which I don't know if I've ever seen that used anywhere, but that is Celeste's knowledge. Oh, hi Kira, that's tragic. But thanks for the luck. Also, here I chose to demo because, like, there is technically a risk of going below the block, but, like, don't. There's, like, 1 frame that does that as opposed to the many, many frames that it buys you, so. This whole sequence I had planned out. Slow bubble and fast bubble up right here. Then fast bubble here. Down left. Fast bubble everything. Again, another 3F wall bounce. Don't fast bubble this too fast because you can touch this, but it's fine. This right release is this grab release is certainly a timing. You can figure out the timing for it. I slow bubble this 1 down right for timing purposes. That's also what Parrot does. I'm pretty sure Parrot does it because like diagonals are weird, so she wants extra time. on that one. But I do it because I copied her strat and it times it well. So we are not the same. But yeah, so do that. Don't like max speed these, but like don't go slow on them either. Upright demo here is extremely safe. Sort of visual cue with this pillar in the background here for when to jump is when the block goes past it. This is a hard part. It's very just do it. You kind of just have to be skilled with the inputs here. You can't do like a full jump and set it up because like it's gonna take too much time. The block's gonna move too much away. But yeah, hard room. If you demo this, you'll live. You're moving up so these up spikes can't kill you. What's up spike? I don't know. But it lines up the spring hit perfectly too. Didn't I almost die to this? No. Maybe I did the second time. Holy. No, it's just been like winter storming out there for so long. Fucked up. Fucked up. There's like way too much nuance I know about that specific input for no reason. Like if you that kills you because of the auto slow fall you get out of the bubble, but that doesn't kill you because of the lack of auto slow fall after grabbing. I decided to not think about that at all and just do a little climb down so that like that was always what I did and that I never had a chance of accidentally like forgetting and slipping up. This drop is so good. I just love this drop. 5 jump here, you know, climb up of it. This is exactly what it looks like. Make sure that you do these like jumps into the wall so that your horizontal suffix looks good and also that they're max height, because with this setup you barely live this. Also, do not demo into this bubble, you will die to this spinner. Because again, demoing into the bubbles raises them 2 pixels. That's because Madeline centers lower, but it like centers her. So it moves her up more to center her. Yeah. This is a forced slow bubble buffer, which is, I still think, one of the craziest things in this map. I just think it's crazy that 90 has a slow bubble buffer, is all. Okay, there's been a lot of bubbles up into screens and shit. And I truly think it's about time you learn, like, what happens there. When you hit a ceiling, I talked about this before a little bit, but look at my state, okay? Right now it's red dash, but now I hit the ceiling and I'm in hit squash. And I just stay in hit squash for a bunch of frames, and you decelerate with like a... It's like a... I think it's loop deceleration, I don't know. But you don't... both of your speeds go to 0. So you basically you stay stuck to the ceiling for a bit is the effect that this has. So because of hit squash, you can make it over this. If hit squash didn't exist, if we can simulate by pressing jump to cancel hit squash, you would die. So hit squash is a funny state. It's not the most... Like, the exact amount it slows you down by is interesting, because, like, look at this, right? My speed's 156.3. Now it's 143.0. It slows you down. It's like a gradual function. Yeah. If that makes any sense. I don't exactly remember. I did look at the code for it one time. This is a key. I line up with, like, sword at the bottom of this block. So many pixels work. I line up with hand in here. These 2 pixels with this thing in the wall, do a neutral. The reason because of that is it gives me plenty of time to fall down and do the neutral a little slow, and it also gives me leniency with this top spinner. But this is a little bit of an awkward input, I will say. Then I make sure to fast bubble this, so this guy is like low and the upright's more lenient. I think you have to buffer that, right, Dash? That, or there's like one extra frame. I slow buffer that, but you don't need to. A very, very interesting screen. Okay, so you want to break that block and then go back down for the key. Technically, you could do the down dash on this screen, but I chose not to do that because if I do it too early, which would be a pretty big mistake for sure, but then that would mean I'd have to do a whole extra loop, and I just don't even want to risk that. So I do the down dash on the next screen. But it is important to note that vertical upwards rune transitions give you 11 frames of dash cooldown, so you can only do this dash like late. It's later than you think. You can't buffer it immediately. Here's another instance where I use dash only keys right here, you can see, to line up at the edge of this. And just do this room again. Again, I either like almost died here or I'm thinking of a different run. Okay, I'm thinking of a different run. Here the pixel I use is that hand above the line. I think you can go 1 pixel higher, but I chose not to because it's just easier to remember hand on the line, and it's not too strict in height anyways. Best of times! I used this song in the intro. Yeah, here you go, hit this button, and then you go buffer so that you're as low as possible. That's a little bit of a weird input. Pressing left is good so that you don't die to the left spike. Yeah, silly moments. This is go to the bottom pixel and do a neutral jump, a neutral climb jump, and then a little left tap to do a wall boost. It's like technically not normalized, but a lot of frames of that works. Funny thing about hit squash, you'd think like if you're holding left, you would maybe like just fall off the wall. But if you press grab, you will grab the wall, which is nice. This is that one thing I talked about before, but like different. Like if you grab this wall and then fall off, you'll die to this spike if you don't have slow fall. But if you don't grab the wall, then you will have slow fall and won't die to the spike. So that's a thing. Now here's an interesting thing, because it's not like bubbles always give you slow fall. They only do sometimes. I don't actually know the exact criteria. I don't remember. It has something to do with Madeline's dash. But basically, this upright, it gives Madeline slow fall. But if you dash into the bubble, and your dash like doesn't end yet, and it's like, you know, you enter the bubble pretty quickly, now you don't get slow fall, and you end up here instead. And you can do an upright demo to fit under the gate. Upright here, up dash there. I guess the interesting thing about this is when you do an up dash into a solid such as a touch switch, what the game is gonna do is it's gonna check, can you do any corner correction? And it's gonna go, can you corner correct to the left? And it's gonna go, well, there's not a solid there because you just got rid of the button, so yes. And then it corner corrects you left. So that means that this frame doesn't exist because you corner correct into the spinner. So it's technically 1 frame tighter than it looks. This is also a thing with all buttons. You will go 1 pixel left when you up dash into them because of corner correction. Wait, actually? Hold on. I actually have a question. Done. So if you're corner correcting to the left, would that mean you corner correct to the right if you do an upright? Yes. Because you can't corner correct left because you're moving right. So that check fails, but then the right check, which happens after, works. So you corner correct right. That's actually... I didn't, like, ever recognize that before, but I definitely intuited it. This is entirely unnecessary, but if you fast bubble and then buffer a right demo, you will slide under this block, which is pretty nice. If you hold right into the transition and release, you'll end up right in the middle of that tile, which is nice. And then yeah, climb to the bottom. do spring hits. I line up with like the middle of this torch. I do this dash past this pillar in the background. Yeah, this sure is secret gameplay. You want to go up fast enough so that that guy does not go back up and catch you. Yeah, bonk this one, it'll destroy the block. Go back down and bonk it again. That guy will go past you. And then wait. And also don't wait on the ground because they can like go under you and you can bonk them. But then go to the bottom, reset your subpixels by dashing into the wall and do a wall kick away, turn around, and you'll land on the edge of this block. And then you can just jump and time a down dash. It's pretty lenient. Make sure to get the hell out of there. Slide against that wall, do a neutral, full jump, and then you end up there. This is like one of those things where, you know, it's a kind of precise buffer sequence. Just down, down, and then jump. And if you miss the jump, if you're like 1 or 2 frames late, you'll start dying to this right spinner. But you'll only die to that spinner if you dash up too late. So there's like an element of like, try not to dash up too late to give you more time on this. To make you able to mess it up. But yeah, so that reverse wave dash from the corner here. And then I also use getting past this pillar as a visual cue for this down left. Banana, 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 banana. Make sure to slide against this wall again to reset your subpixels so that you don't go over this seeker and miss her. And yeah, that is exactly what it looks like. This is an up demo buffer. And then you're in this room. The start of this room is Cottom for some reason. Make sure to wait on this for... It was at least longer than I thought. And then this block will be there. This wouldn't be like that hard. It is what it is. It's kind of like a difficult screen. This down press, it is a down press I time by the way, is timed about when this is a tile away from this spinner. And then left crouch jump sets you up horizontally pretty well to do another jump. You can pretty easily skip this door. This is a 3-frame up dash. Technically, if you land on this block and without a dash, you can 5 jump and grab that refill. It's just a little precise. This is a fast bubble buffer. Then you can grab the wall. Go to the bottom pixel here. And this corner boost will line up. That corner jump will line up. Here I do a non-demo buffer wall bounce to set up my height. So that this wall bounce is like, I can get good height on this wall bounce just by timing it like normally, max height-ish, you know? Like, a little bit at, like, the normal timing I do a wall bounce on. And that, I can't remember if I had a specific pixel lineup for this or not. Yeah, there's that. It's a smiley face. It's so happy. So normally what you're supposed to do here is just take this bubble right, up left into this dash switch and enter the orb. However, entering the orb is a problem part. It's difficult to do that, and also she kills you often. To show what I mean. Yeah, so you're like you're doing an up left. Like, she'll kill you. She'll kill you. This gap is kind of tight, and also she's liable to kill you. Actually, I guess not. Okay, I don't think she ever pushes you into this fight, but this is scary because this gap is only 2 tiles. So instead of doing that, I do this roundabout bullshit of going under, collecting the orb early with the 2 dashes, and then going back. Now I no longer have to touch the orb and can just do this. Which, I'm realizing now, I think I could just skip the early orb part. Yeah, no, I could, couldn't I? I could just like right bubble here, and then up left, and then up dash into here. And then fall into the orb. And I'm pretty sure that's fine. So I guess this was like a little needlessly overcomplicated, and all I needed to do was like to explain it, and then I'm like, oh yeah. I did not need to do that, actually. But I mostly did. Here the cycle is when this goes left, this goes down. Then do this. Make sure you right dash here, because if you enter this orb, you're not getting the key. And you also have to do flag 75. Would missing the orb? No, you get the orb, is the thing. Missing the orb would be a problem, but my idea was... Actually, I guess... No, you're right. You actually could accidentally go up on the platform and miss the orb. That is a thing that could happen. Okay, good point. Yeah, my thought there was that you wouldn't, but I feel like you probably could go on this platform early. Okay, so maybe that's... I think I had a good strat then. I think I did it safe. Okay. Yay. You only need to hit one of those. The other one doesn't, like, do anything. That just wouldn't be safe, cool. That just would not always work. Welcome to Sunrise Running. So in the actual run, I took a little break. I had to go back and, like, pee and stuff. And basically what I'm saying is, like, I'll be right back. I need to pee. I was gonna say something funny, but I was like trying to think of something funny and I just really couldn't. So this saddens me. But that's okay. We're in the hardware store. And I solved the Wordle in 3. We're so back. Yeah, so this is Sunrise Running. It's like pretty short and pretty not that difficult. It's a good Wordle. Yeah, so I guess like this is downwind neutrals. A lot of people struggle with them. You definitely want to make sure to do like hold one jump key down and just do like some jump taps. That makes you always do full jumps without having to like, yeah. So down with neutrals and all. It is what it is. Specifically here, I made sure to do a second climb jump here because doing a neutral is a little risky. And also at the end here, I stopped doing neutrals at the end of it because if I do neutrals too high and I get on the jump through without recognizing that I'm going to get on the jump through, I can walk into this spike. So that's why I do, it's hard to see, but that's why I do climb jumps here. And just do that, go kind of slow. I think that jump off the wave dash is not full jump, you know. Here I mess up. Here I missed this hyper by a frame. And do a failed hyper, but I react in time, luckily. This upright is like a 4F-ish, and if you're late, you end up here, and you can do a 3-tile overhang. Downwind 3-tiles are kind of hard. I also forget the visual cue. There, just do like 2 max height jumps and then a wall jump, and then you're gonna be pretty high for this. You can wait to just slide down, that'll respawn. You can't... There's a spinner inside of this block, and that stops you from being able to grab it and climb up on top of it. This doesn't actually really matter, because you can just jump, but yeah. Crouch jump from the corner, climb up a bit, do a couple neutrals, then... Yeah. This... Oh, actually, I do a super, and then I make sure to reset subpixels on the wall. But this up dash is just a 3-frame. This up dash is just an awkward 3-frame. It's kind of messed up. I went on the first possible frame here of the 3, I believe. Maybe that's not true. Maybe I went in the middle frame. I don't know. 3-frame. Tough 3-frame. It's what it looks like. Here you buffer dash soon before or soon after hitting the spring to line up this up dash. This right dash demo? You want a demo? Oh yeah. So here's another thing. When I was doing that explanation before about how like a demo is going to help you by 1/8 of a pixel, that actually changes in downwind. It helps you by more than that. It helps you by half a pixel more than that. It's going to help you by 6/8 of a pixel, I believe, which is pretty significant. Look at your... So, Madeline uncrouches, yeah, with that velocity. It's a pretty big help to demo in downwind. So basically demo this. Even though it looks like you uncrouch before the spinner's end, you want to demo it. It helps by like a pretty significant amount. Make sure to do this up left soon enough, so yeah. And then if you just hold left here, you can die to this spinner. So I don't. I wait to press left when I'm going to be past it. And then make sure to dash early so that you don't like hit the side of the spring and hit this spinner. It's pretty tough. Then I wait for this moonblock cycle to be like up so that when I get to it, it's going to be down and I can climb up on top of it. And then with that moonblock cycle, I do neutral 5 jump and then like 3 neutrals and the wall jump away, and that sets up this moonblock cycle pretty okay. It sets up everything. I think I should have done one more neutral, but it didn't matter. No. But yeah, so there's that. And then also the cycle on this is pretty nicely lined up, which is awesome. Make sure to make sure you actually land on top of this block. Where you head to? You can't accidentally slow fall here because you might collect the refill, but just fall off and then the up lefts and then a wall bounce. So, you know, it's simple. And yeah, so this is where it comes into play where like wind literally just adds like a set amount to your position every frame as long as the conditions for it to push you are met. So normally when you release a wall, you have no speed and then you start falling down. But upwind is gonna just push you up. What this means is that if you're holding into a wall makes it easier because you slide and such. You can just repeatedly re-grab and climb up using no stamina. You only start using stamina after the 7th frame of grabbing. I think I remember someone asking in chat, does that use no stamina? And someone was like, no, it uses some. And it's like, that's just wrong. It uses no stamina. Yeah, wall kick from there. I line up with this right spot on the wall with her hand. Reset subpixels into the wall here so that you have 0.5 and then do a wall kick away. Then this is a down right where you release down and right. And then you end up in this spot. What this does is it makes you grab this wall with like the good, like I think it's 1/10 pixel precise or something like that. Basically, it makes it so that this corner kick works out. So that's what that horizontal setup is for, this corner kick. Make sure you do it right. I use face visual cue below the spinner here. Make sure to fast fall. I use hand on the white snow here as a visual cue. I use this kind of brighter spot in the wall as a visual cue also. Then you want to make sure you're holding, you reset subpixels and hold jump here. And then buffer a wall kick away. And this gap is tight. This gap is like a 12 pixel gap. But luckily, this just lines it up quite nicely. And then you can do a right dash, and then you make it past here too. I don't know if it's possible to be too late and die to the bottom. I forget. Try it out. If you're going for 90, you can just try it out. Like if you're seriously watching this to help you do, just try it out. You should get it. That is a jump I do a little slow fall on. This is Lucy. Hold on. I forgot to... Safi, can I show you Lucy out? I'm also gonna show Kira's. Go for it. Okay. Lucy has fan art. Okay. But yeah, you can see this little cloud figure. We're calling her Lucy. And Kira has made fan arts of her. Here's one. And here's the other. And she put on some weight. Love to see it. And Safi also drew Lucy. We got Lucy art. We love Lucy. I like Lucy lots. And this one, her ears are pointed up because of the upwind, which is cool. Yeah. So that's Lucy. This is also like a pretty difficult flag. I should have put the Lucy art in the video, but I forgot, by the way. I only put Exopta's fan art and the thumbnail correction in the outro, but... Here I line up with Madeline's face below this white spot in the wall, and jumping onto this is difficult. It helps if you slow fall, so I do. Make sure you don't slow fall too late and buffer a jump, because that would be pretty bad. I don't remember the exact range that works, but there's like a couple frames. I don't know, like a 4F maybe? 4F jump height? 3F? 4F? 5? I don't know. It's kind of hard. Then I line up so that no pixels of her face are covered by the spinner. Then just do a jump away. Again, more of this grabless stuff. Visual cue in the wall here, hand next to those two spots. And this is a 1 to 3F jump press. No slow fall, you'll make it over. Lucy's hard. I thought she'd be pretty soft, because she's a glad. Haha. Haha. But yeah. That's real. Claude. Tax clothes. Here I use like the right side of Madeline's face and the 6 to line up. And this makes it so that I can jump on the last 4 frames of the super. And if I jump late, I'll still live, I think. But I'm gonna be, like it's not gonna make it, so I can dash back. And if I jump early, well, too bad. So there's that, and then there's this upright. Now the thing about that upright that they don't want you to know, is it's actually kind of hard. It's harder than it looks, because like normally, let's take a look at like a screen border, okay? Look at how far off the screen Madeline can go. Like that's like her hair. You can see her hair and that's it. But here, let's do that same thing and just see how much we can see. She's alive. She's alive. She's alive. She's dead. It is a lot stricter than a normal room border, and the reason is because this is a kill box, not a room border, and kill boxes are stricter with that. So you need to watch out and not die. But it also means that demoing is not gonna hurt you here. But it also means it's not gonna help you. Yeah, that's another thing. So I don't know. I guess I demo for like the vibe. Yeah, they don't want you to know that, but that upright is harder than it looks because of that. The kill box was moved to pixel block down and new, I believe. But yeah, you want to make sure. I point that one out because it's like an invisible nerf. Like it's a nerf you don't see. Maybe you do with the camera. I don't know, but either way. Make sure you're not too far left, but make sure you're not too far right. You want to be in a good position to be able to do this. Now this flag, I actually got a little distracted. Think you're going on a walk? Whoa, that'd be cool. Have fun. Look at how fucking squished the golden is. I've been going for like 2 hours and I feel fine. That's crazy. But I got distracted. I was thinking about something else, of like the stressful variety. Cause like, yeah. So as a result of that, I almost died. That was like directly because my thoughts were like that. I in fact want to just look and see how close I got to dying. Alright, this is Smots. Here we go. Now we're in here. Do we think a shift click is a good idea? I think a shift click's a good idea. I moved a bit too far. Let's see how much I lived by, because I am curious. That's surviving by 0.17 pixels. I almost just like died due to that. That's crazy shit. Yeah. I live by 0.17 pixels. I don't know why the hell physics inspector looks like this. Why is it cut off? What the fuck? But yeah, that's scary. But I just got distracted. But here's like something about my mindset and the way my thoughts work is that like if I hadn't got distracted, if I hadn't thought about that, then like my whole conditions and thoughts, everything would have been different. The run would have played out fully differently. I in fact only got this golden because of that. Because of everything that happened up to this point ever. You know, if that makes any sense. So anyways, you do that. I line up with her foot, bright pixel on her foot, on this dark line. I line up with facing right, leg line up with this little bright spot in here, hyper up dash. This is a funny wind feather. Again, I was talking before. Is that the closest to death I've noticed so far in this run? Maybe? Maybe. There was a similar one at the end of Final Golden Room. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. So, this is like one where you want to do a slow feather. Notice how I switched directly from down to right, and then from right to up. That is to do that circle, like, tight. To not... Yeah. It's to not... Yeah, and then you do a little down tap there. Like, this is really something. It's a hard feather, you just get used to it. Then you, like, right tap into there. Left stutter. Try to demo to where you uncrouch past that. Like, this is hard. And then this is... You hold up right, but you release tap right. And I guess up, too. I guess... Look at that. That's an up release. I didn't even know I did that. Wait. What was my hands doing? What the hell? I feel like that up refresh might have been an accident. I don't exactly know what's happening. I don't know. But yeah, this flag is one of my favorites. It's also just hard as shit. And you can't like skip the flag or anything. You do just have to do it in this version. And it is quite hard to do it. But I love this flag. It's so good. Like this, it's just a great feather. Here I do that lineup with the 6, but with like the 2. Like remember that one flag like 2 flags ago where I lined up with the 6? Now I line up with the 2. So neutral dash, make sure you wait long enough to pass that, and then do a wall bounce. Little right tap. Yeah. Slide down to like halfway on the block, not precise. Slide down to bottom on the block, demo, up dash. Don't buffer this because you can die, I think. It's relatively true, Sleesha. There absolutely does have to be. There's like so many like 5F windows, you're gonna be like 1F off from dying on a couple of them. Favorite flag? I don't know if I can answer. Wait. It's probably something in like true flag 5. I don't know, I gotta be a flag 5 enjoyer. I feel like that's like my morals and ethics is that flag 5 is really good. This is actually, interesting thing about this is that this strat I'm doing was not possible when this version of the... Actually, I don't know if that's true. This version might have been released in 4.0 of Celeste, in 1.4 of Celeste. But basically, there is a switch gate that moves up so you can stand on it, and it is a tile off screen. But you can just land on it. That only is possible because Celeste extended the kill border. And in fact, in New 9D, Monica moved it down lower so that you can't even do that. So, that's a buff. Also, funny thing, don't land the delayed ultra there because you'll die. So do it like an up dash here. For some reason, not holding right long enough and grabbing this block and not grabbing this block was an issue. Do this neutral, like when the block next to you starts moving down a little. Then it's down, right, and a little right release. Is the movement I do at the start here. And then just yeah, sync the blocks, jump, not precise. Wait for this to be low so you can safely jump over it. I line up her cat ear with the bright line and wait for it to reach the top of its cycle. Then I stand on any tiptoe pixel. Well, not any because you can be too far right, but you know, like the first tiptoe pixel. Wait for it to sink down. Jump, do an up dash. Scoot under that. Line up leg on this block. What I'm noticing, there are so many visual cues in this fucking checkpoint. I forgot that. That jump and up dash is a little stall to make this moon block line up good. As soon as it reaches its peak and isn't moving up anymore and starts moving down, you can upright demo and you'll grab it. Then here I wait for this cycle to move up a little bit before doing a jump. And wall jump on this to stall, grab it, climb up, you know. Here, this tile, line up, crouch, jump. It's pretty normalized. It's exactly what it looks like. That left tap is like a 7F or something. Yeah. It's May 6th. Yeah, so, I mean, Celeste was well in 1.4 at that point, I believe. When did Celeste 1.4 release? I don't actually... Hold on. This doesn't have dates. Can we... where? When? March 2021. Allegedly. That's at least one that says. This is a silly input. Try to not die by dashing too late. Try your best. I kind of like should have done that wave dash from further left. The fact that I didn't was like a little wrong, but yeah, you can dash earlier than you think. This key bubble puts you in the ceiling and you have to crouch to get out, which is quirky. Yeah, I mean, I guess like no words, right? This is a feather. It is what it is. I like it. I do have a little bit of words. Be sure to slow bubble this, because if you fast bubble it, the wind is going to be down, and it's going to push you down, and technically you can hit this block. So just slow bubble it, and then you can't. Then I wait for this moon block to move 3 pixels down before jumping, so that it's at the bottom of its cycle when I do this down dash, which lets you corner correct here, gives you an extra frame. Then, I wait for this to move up 2 pixels, and then I walk right. What's happening there is I'm doing the thing again where I am skipping a trigger. I'm skipping this trigger that sets the wind to be downwind. I believe it's downwind. So you can keep upwind by walking under it and then doing an up dash as you walk off the platform. This, I think you can't go over this like this in new, which is an interesting tidbit. Yeah, that's all buffers. That's it's what it's, you know. Here I go in the corner and wait for this moon block to move down. I haven't been like explaining too much. I guess here's a little technical thing. So try not to die. I died here once by dashing too early. So don't do that. I guess that's not that technical. Oh, but here's a technical thing actually. This is where what I was talking about comes into play. Okay, so look at this, right? Downwind cloud. You may be slightly aware of downwind cloud. You probably aren't. But basically, sometimes when you jump off a cloud in downwind, let's see if I can get it to happen here, okay? gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Can we? Okay, hold on. I'm moving down like 3 pixels a frame. A little bit more. Actually, wait, hold on. Now I'm like, look at that! It happened! I jumped off the cloud, but I didn't trigger it. Oh yeah, no, I was thinking about it wrong. In Downwind, you can jump off clouds and not trigger them, which is like a little weird. It can definitely throw you off. However, not really, if that makes any sense. Because this is that thing again. The wind starts with a wind trigger, not on entry. And I'm pretty sure that matters. Actually, does it? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just on no, yeah. Basically, on entry, depth is different, so that will literally never happen if you enter from the previous room. So that whole thing that I just described about the clouds sometimes not activating, not true. They always activate. Yeah. But only because it's activated by a wind trigger, I believe. Then this is a frame perfect grab, followed by 2 up presses, and then it's a max height demo. It's for 6 frames. It's a 6F max height demo. It's a little weird because in upwind, your position is like quite different. Like your whole trajectory is quite different. But it's 6F max height. I somehow like never failed it, which I'm glad about. And make sure you do this movement kind of good, because it's actually not easy to grab this block. So what you're doing by going over that, I believe, is I think there's a downwind trigger here. Is there? Actually, hold on, maybe there isn't. Where are the triggers? You're skipping, yeah, there's a downwind trigger here. That makes sense. Which you are skipping, because you do not want that. You want, yeah. There's also another trigger here, which I think maybe sets your wind to normal. You also skip that and keep upwind for this part. So you're gonna see that here. Here I am skipping the wind trigger, and I have upwind. Here I do a little tiny right tap before the up right to make sure I make it over. This up dash sure is... Oh, did I? Investigation. Okay, I corner corrected by 1 pixel. Okay, not notable. Yeah, that up dash is a little weird. For sure. I did a slow fall jump there too, to help. Up demo helps here because you're gonna be moving down, and then you're moving down and you won't be able to die to the spikes. Also, downwind makes it help anyways by 0.5 pixel. Then I line up with face below that little hole in the wall and jump. Then that's another thing I do on a lot of walls. On like almost every wall, you're gonna see me like slide into it to normalize my subpixels. But I don't like always need to do that. Instead of just remembering what ones I need to do it on and like, you know, not doing it on the ones I don't need to do it on, that's like a lot to remember. Sometimes I just like forget if it doesn't need it and then I just do it. And yeah. Then here I press a dash jump button. It comes up as save as the input display because I've genuinely been so lazy that I haven't made it accurate to my inputs. I'm sorry, but if you press a dash jump button on a wall while you're climbing, the jump will come through first and the dash will come through next frame. So that is a normalized way to get a little more distance on this and make this just work very nicely. 2 climb jumps into the corner, full jump, fall until you hit the refill, then release directions. Fall right again, climb up, and then you're in got him. Yay! Okay. Oh wow. That was nice. Did you hear that? That was like my arm. I don't exactly know what. Question unrelated to 90. You just did. But yeah, sure. You can ask another. Got you. Got you. A random funny fact is that. Oh god. Euphem, I literally just said Smarts Gaming the whole time. I didn't explain the strats at all. I just said Smarts Gaming a bunch. I think it was a pretty good bit. But fun fact about this is that the triggers to make Gotham look the way it does are on the tile next to the entry. Or actually, it's 2 tiles over. So this is not... This looks like Sunrise Running. Now it looks like Gotham, you know? Random 90 fact. Doesn't really matter at all, but... So here again, you're going to see what I was talking about. Earlier, you're going to be grabbing the top of blocks to both make it so you always get vertical lift boost and so that there's not going to be much variance in your trajectory. This one, I grab a little below the top and then climb up. That is to get the block giving me more horizontal lift boost and also to not like risk being too high and die. Oh, 2 to 3k hair bug, why? Oh, that actually applies in 92 plenty. And I don't exactly know why. I know if there's like horizontal wind. I don't exactly know why. But it is a thing. Hold on, let's remember this. So 116. If we look at like bottomless, you can see the hair is doing the same thing. It's going to the right. Hair just does that. I don't fully know why, but it has something to do with previous wind for sure. There's probably something a little more specific. Yeah, anyways, there's this core jump, and then this. Technically, if you run out of stamina here, no problem, you can just dash over and do like a turn. Actually, I don't remember. I don't remember the thing. Don't run out of stamina here, lol. From this point onwards, you're gonna not refresh your dash anymore. On the ground, it's core. Yeah, so I line up on like the rightmost tile of this, in the middle of the right tile. I bet that'd look crazy with your hyperlin, yeah. I feel like I've probably seen it before. Like the wind thing. This is any tiptoe pixel, you can do 2 crouch jumps. And here, reset subpixels, and then go when this fireball is like below the ceiling here. And there's a wall kick, and you can grab the top of this, jump at any time, it's just, we're chilling. Then here, it's again similar, like when it's below this ceiling. And then I go on the right tile of it, just like the one before. Bunch of repeating ideas here. And then yeah, so upright. The start of the upright will normalize your subpixel because you collided the wall in frame 1. So you're in the same position every time here, but it's not an ideal position. So you do another jump, and then this makes it so that this demo is, well, you can wall kick away and then do a 6-frame demo. And then this is the same thing as that one big block earlier. I don't grab it at the top, because that can make getting past this spike scary. I grab it a little below the top, so it gives me a tiny bit more horizontal lift boost, and then this is cleaner. This is another instance of an overclock, which I explained in that one creation room. I guess I probably don't need to explain again. You get more stamina. You don't even really need the more stamina here, but you can get it. These conveyors are tricky, okay? I would. Core blocks are my friends. So, like, the lift boost they give you maxes out at 80, but they do speed you up well beyond that. And also, when you release, you get lift boost plus that. So, like, look at this. The frame I release, I'm gonna have 240 upward speed. Basically, they're so weird that if you don't get enough lift boost, then that's bad for making it over. But if you stay on for too long, you can bonk and not make it over. So that's also bad. So you want to, like, get enough lift boost and start low and make just, like, nice. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. And then I do this little loop around here. This is so that I get to dash into this refill and have this not be extremely difficult. Something you can do here is keep hot core mode instead of cold core mode, but I did not think it, like, really helped at all, and it was absolutely harder to do, so no. Be absolutely sure you slide against this wall. And then, you make it past that spike barely. You can buffer this jump. Yeah, here's the stalling I do here. Buffer climb jump kind of sets up height. So funny thing about this is that I think only like the leftmost 0.1-ish on this block will make you grab this block before activating it. Getting on the leftmost 0.1-ish is like rare because you're probably not gonna have like that much speed when you grab it. So like you're gonna be moving less than 0.9 and unable to reach that subpixel range anyways. Basically what I'm saying is almost always you can buffer jump and make it over this without activating it. This doesn't actually really matter at all, but this is a thing. That's a fact about the map that I know. Hi Kurutsu. It's the first of 2 flag 45s. There are 2 flag 45s, by the way. Make, like, absolutely sure you pick that up by doing some extra neutrals, by the way. Time this jump away, like when this guy is at the top or about to be at the top. I went pretty early here, so you can see I'm early here, but I knew that timing was just about safe. This wall bounce is, like, not easy at all. And neither is this turnaround, but they're also, like, not extremely difficult. Neither is it's a tight flag. Yeah, so that was flag 45. But are you ready for flag 45? Up diagonal into the corner, also fully reset your subpixels. Here you don't want to be inputting right. These level bounces all just line up. You can also buffer your jump off of all of them and maybe should so you don't miss it. Because, like, these guys have a little tiny, like, it's tiny. Look at that. That 2x3 rectangle is the solid hitbox. You want to make sure you do not miss that. Drive 45. Welcome to Drive 45. I did choose to upright demo this because it lets you get this block better. The moon block cycle needs to be pretty high. You can see what I'm doing here. Jump on this pixel where there's... This is like... I think the highest without dying to the top obstacle? I don't know. It really doesn't matter that much, but this is where I chose to jump from. And then right dash. Now that right dash is going to normalize your horizontal subpixels to 0.5, but your vertical subpixels are going to be whatever. So what you're going to do now is you're going to normalize your vertical subpixels by bonking. Now you're in the same place every time. Then, one wall kick away, wait for this to respawn so the freeze frames don't throw you off. 2 more wall kicks, climb up, and then 3 wall kicks. What does this do? It puts you in this pixel on the top point quarter of it, in the top fourth of it, and that makes it so that you can do this demo and not die to this spinner. And also you can hold down right after and just do a down left dash, down left after, and just do a down left dash and line up there. Little tap, crouch, jump, you know. So this is using the lift boost from a conveyor to do wall bounces. This first one's really easy. It's just a buffer without demoing, and you'll like always make it. This one's hard because even if you buffer while demoing, there's a chance you don't go high enough. So you have to not buffer the jump. And it's a little weird. I mean, you don't have to because you can get lucky, but you know, you don't want to be relying on luck. So, not buffer this. And this refill does not respawn. If you mess this up, you die. Then these jumps can be, like, pretty late. But this one, this top spinner is an extremely real danger, so watch out for it. Then here, I time my jump when? Can you start from inside the refill? No. Because here's the thing. Like, you can't do buffer wall bounces like that because that is what happens if you try to do that. You're gonna cancel your dash with a climb jump before you can even do a wall bounce. So if you were to do something like that, you would need to like hit the jump timing still extremely precisely. It's just, it would be more awkward in that case. And yeah, you also need to make sure like you have lift boost. Lift boost only lasts like 10 frames, which is not the whole duration of a dash. It's tricky. But yeah, so there's that. Then, get in this corner. I timed this by jumping when this fireball, the chat's covering it a little bit, but when this fireball is pointing like straight up, when it's directly above that core switch, then you can jump right and then up, upright buffer. And then do this movement to get past this. Now, here's where I explain something. So when you place down a fireball, it moves across its track. I think these guys' tracks, they're octagons. They're not circles, I think they're octagons. But it doesn't exactly matter. You can set their speed. This guy has a speed of 0.8. But this circle up here has a speed of 1. Which is like not... They're basically gonna be like at random points in the cycle relative to each other. And I was like making like some crazy brain stuff to like counteract this. But truly, all you need to do is take a look at the right. Look at how the cycle is. So right now I'm noticing this guy. I'm like, this guy is there. I probably want to go like a little somewhat fast. So I'm going to do not a full jump off of that. And then quick dashes to reach this guy. Like it's... You look over there, see what's happening, and change your movement accordingly to reach it in time. Is kind of the deal. Yeah. It's a hard part to get down, but I got it down. And then this also, depending on which of the three... these guys move at the same speed. But depending on which of the three in the circle you take away, you have to do a different thing here, too. But it's all pretty, like, self-explanatory. You just dodge the obstacles, truly. But it's a fucked flag. It is a fucked flag, let me tell you. And it's basically over in terms of execution. But in terms of funnies, there's one more funny. I do another frame perfect grab. Firstly, one full climb jump holding right into the corner. And then, hold on. I'm moving chat for this. Chat, you're going like here for now. You'll go back, but full climb jump into the corner, and then I slide down and frame perfect grab. I actually got it the first time here. That's pretty cool. I use Madeline's hand and this white spot in the wall. And I have the bottom half on the white spot and the top half above it. And that's how I know I got the frame perfect grab. Frame perfect grabs are useful because it can, like, it's the same subpixel every time, and you don't have to do any annoying like one frame taps or anything. It's if you grab the frame, you got it. If you didn't, you didn't. If you miss it, you just go back down and reset, try again. If you got it, you do this spinnered 4 tile. And then make sure to fall a bit before doing this up dash so that grabbing this wall is a little easier. Okay, you're going back now. Also, be sure, watch out. There is, in fact, a trigger here. Or a trigger here that changes the core mode to hot. You do not want that, so you want to make sure that you dodge that trigger by going over it. But once you do that, you're in the clear. Then this is, I guess, like one of the instances of where ice friction is very... Why is the trigger invisible? Oh, like it's not like one of those... It doesn't look like this, it's invisible. It just is. There's an invisible type of core trigger and the visible core switch. This one is mostly to make it so that you're on the intended one when you, like, respawn or teleport here, I think. But you can go over it. If that makes sense. It'd look weird if it was a core switch. Okay, so this is a funny. Okay, so normally on, like, ground. So look at this. I do a right tap on the ground. I move right 0.27 pixels. No, here I'm at 0, here I'm 0.27. If I do a right tap in the air, I move 0.18. So air 1F taps, air movement has less acceleration than ground movement. However, that is extremely not true when you're... See, that's why the core triggers kind of do that. That is extremely not true on the ground, because if I do a 1F tap on the ground, I move 0.09. Like, or whatever. However much that is. 0.083. So, friction on the ground is like half of that in the air. So doing small taps on the ground are going to move you slower and more precise than in the air on ice. I just remembered something. Isn't the low friction variant like crazy? Yeah, it literally like affects airspeed. This is a crazy variant that like no one uses this variant. But I feel like it's weird. I feel like people should use this variant. It goes hard. I kind of didn't know it existed for like a while. Low friction is funny. 2F tap on ice is gonna be 3 times that. Wanna know why? So hold on. Let's get to like basically here. So you accelerate 1 time. So let's say let's not say 5 speed. Let's say you move like 1x speed. So you're gonna be moving 1x speed. Then you accelerate again, you're gonna be moving 2x speed. Then you're gonna be moving 1x speed again. So that's actually 4. That is 4x. So instead of just moving the 1, you moved 4. Oh, is it actually like, hold on. Is it like... So... Yeah, is it triangle numbers? Or am I crazy? No, it... Cause like... No, but you move... Like the number increases too. Yeah, it's not that. It's definitely like some mathematical concept. Okay? But yeah. Basically, all that to say, I do this lineup to get on the last pixel, and I do the taps on the ground because that's better than in the air, which is usually not the case. Which you'll see in, like, the golden room. That squares, it squares. I thought about that. So does that really just go through all the squares? I guess so, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done math, okay. But yeah, that's how movement would work. And the amount of frames. Until you reach 90 speed, then you're just moving at 90 speed all those frames. Oh, actually? I just realized something extremely interesting. It's not actually extremely interesting, but this spring is gonna give you... So, hold on. Firstly, I'm on the last pixel here. If I over-tap, I'll die, but... And then on the last pixel, I go when the bumper is left in its cycle. So, there. But the spring is gonna give me force move L, which the game basically acts as if I'm holding left. But not exactly, because for the bumper boost check, it still matters if I'm holding right or not. Which I guess is the same for like dashes and shit. And then yeah, just do those 2 jumps. Whoa. Cool. Cool. Okay, technically if you fall off and miss this coyote jump, you'll hit the spring, it's fine. But that's my strat. I leave the spring for backup purposes. Then, when this guy is, bottom left in its cycle, I hold down and right and hit it. And hopefully get the refill, and also... Like, I'm pretty sure that was it. I don't fully remember. There's something. And then this pixel I line up on the wall. Use our hand in the spot on the wall. Wait for the bumper to be bottom right. Bumper piece jump. You know, the whole shebang. I choose to do a 5 jump here instead of like walking and jumping because of ice acceleration being weird. And also, this is one of the... This might be the only instance of this in the run. Down jump button. Actually, no, there's another one. But down jump button is pretty useful. It lets you crouch jump at full speed, like, safely. It makes this jump over the spinner pretty free. Bang. Jump there to have more time to line up with this. Do this. When this bumper is left, go, and... Something that not everyone knows is that bumper boosts apply on every bumper hit unless your speed, your X component of your speed is 0. So, you can bumper boost diagonal hits and should be. You bumper boost that. And then this cycle is going to line up so that you want to do 2 hits and then go. So, you hit this at the left, then you do 1, 2, and then this guy's going to be at the right in its cycle, which is as good as it gets. And then do another bumper diagonal boost hit. This is like an obstacle that I'm not the fondest of, but this setup lets you get 2 dashes on the wall. I choose to not hold jump and then just fall off and do a regular dash. This up dash is sort of the chain for a visual cue. It's like a... I don't actually know. Core cat. Also, yeah. Look in the background tiles. That's a cat. Right there, you see it in the negative space. Pointy ear, tail, face. That's a cat. There's so many cats in the core background tiles. But yeah, so there's that. What is interesting on when you can jump in it or not? Here I go to like the bottom tile of the water where my legs aren't sticking out much at all. And I used this blank tile in the background as a visual cue. Then just down right, you'll hit the spring. That's important because of wind trigger. Note that doing the down right doesn't consume your dash because you're dashing in swim state, which doesn't consume your dash. Then you can just do some jumps here. In order to guarantee you go under this spinner, sometimes you might want to not buffer this jump. Because water is like lenient. And here, that kind of hurts you. Because you can jump like quite a bit above the water. Like, you can just fit here? I don't know if I knew that. Okay, but like you can jump like a little above the water. I don't exactly know. It's like 2 pixels, yeah? So, if jumping that early is not ideal, you might want to delay the jump. Then here you're looking at this cycle at the right. You want this guy to be like, you know, you want to time it so that you don't run out of stamina before it starts to move down. And then after it moves down a bit, you fall, do a neutral super, like, pretty soon after you land, not that precise. Then I do dash only input up right, and I'll grab it. This is a precise segment, especially in, yeah, it's precise, and it lines up weirdly in this version too. So after this upright, I wait for the... This is a bunch of moon blocks stacked on top of each other. And when they move, they're all gonna move Madeline, like, at the same time. Which is why, look at that. She moves up a bunch of pixels. They're all moving her up. They're all... So I wait for 2 ticks, then I do 6 neutrals. Then I do a walking, then I do 9 neutrals, which is why the room is called nice, because I do 6 and then 9, and that was fully accidentally. Another wall kick, neutral, climb, jump, wall kick. Make sure you don't jump too far left here, because that would be bad, because you'd fail. You are not at risk of screen transitioning early here. You want to grab the right wall, and then jump. And then you can do a left dash, and then either use super or corner boost. Either one's okay. And then you grab this wall. You grab this wall? Okay. Yeah, this part's scary. You grab that wall, do a bunny hop, and then you're here. Then you do a full jump over left and grab the wall. How close was that? It looked like I just switched really early. I'm scared. I know it's gonna be a little hard to check. Okay, so this is like the grab frame, I think. Okay, so it's fine. It was like 3 frames of leniency. But yeah, you want to not be holding jump because you'll fall past the spring. So don't do that. At least I'm pretty sure. And then this lines up a corner kick. Yeah, this is again conveyor stuff. Want to make sure you get enough lift boost. That's a scary one. But it's not as scary as it looks because the lava is like at least a little bit lenient. Okay? Like, look at this. It's looking all scary and shit, but all these pixels don't kill you. Actually, it's hard to see. Is that it? Yeah, all these pixels don't kill you. Like, it's still frightening though. And this turnaround is hard. I got 90 golden. Can you fucking believe that shit? What the fuck? What are we, how did I do that? Anyways. If you just hold and grab here, you're gonna die to this top spinner, so you want to release grab before you reach the top. Important detail. This is an early climb jump on the core block, like that one memories room, where you do that. And then that one doesn't, yeah. Then climb down to the bottom pixel here. fall, release grab, and then press down. Then you're going to be crouched, and you want to do an early jump here, and you'll make it. Technically, Zio found that strat, but I also found it on my own. I guess I should mention, well, a very large amount of the rooms, I just found my own thing because they're, like, altered. But the parts where I didn't, I mostly used parrot strat, some, a little bit of slide quarter. I didn't actually look in the 90p strat chord server that much. But yeah, apparently Zio posted this strat in Celeste chord, like, so long ago. FC Golden, it's true. Oh yeah, technically you can do, like, a little better thing here that I just, like, didn't do. Because I didn't realize it until late. You can do, like, a... here. At least I'm pretty sure it's better. I mean, I don't actually know. I guess I can't confidently say that, but... like... yeah, you can do that. Like, you can just, like, reach this refill, like, there. Yeah. No, that's absolutely better. But I didn't want to switch my strat from what it has been, which is this. But you should not do that, honestly. I think you should do what I just showed instead of that strat. But anyways, that's not a full height wave dash, and yeah. Cause like the block can start falling, and then you kind of just out. This is again the concept of if you're moving up, you won't grab the block, so the block won't fall. Actually. So here's the deal. I am moving down right now. I am in normal state. All the conditions for being able to grab are met. And I said this before, it's pixel perfect. There's only one pixel. That makes it sound scarier than it is. You move it. There's one pixel where you can do a climb jump and not grab. But Madeline moves at 1.5 pixels per frame at max speed. So you're often going to skip over that pixel. Which seems like a pretty big issue. Because, if you don't do any thoughts, you're going to be grabbing and activating this block like a third of the time. And that can't be. And it's not, because I do some subpixel normalization here. Specifically, I do an up dash, and then I slide into this block. And then I grab down here. Luckily, this exists. I wait to slide down, because if you don't, you can potentially be too high. Then I do a neutral climb jump, and wait to press left until I'm past the wall. Then, make sure to switch to holding right in the Springs force move. Actually, how close was I to not doing that? Actually, no, it was fine. But yeah, switch to holding right in the force move. Release right, like, when it matters. And make sure Madeline comes to a complete stop at the stop sign. And then, do the jump. It is also worth noting that after a dash ends, if after an up dash ends, but you're still able to wall bounce, if you're holding grab, you'll do a climb jump instead. So make sure you don't accidentally, press jump and then grab, but the jump buffer comes through later, so you do a climb jump. Make sure you don't do that. And then, so just do a wall bounce, hold left, and you will always have good subpixels here, if you did the setup correctly. And this is just some chill shit. You do have to keep in mind that collecting this refill will give you freeze frames. Do not let that throw you off. This is a fun room. You do your little hops. Sort of fastish movement. Like, I don't climb up all the way here. I do the climb up there. Then 5 jumps here. It's fine. Then jump neutral. I'm just describing what I'm doing. I don't need to be doing that. You can see. Jeez. Shoutouts to the one time I died here because well, hold on. First, here's the setup. Do that, release jump so you don't slow fall. Fall over to this wall, and then just do a full jump and crouch, and you'll line up in a good spot. Shoutouts to this death that I had. Shoutouts to where I didn't hold left long enough, and I ended up in a different spot, and that I didn't react to that until after I did the up dash, and it scared me, so I went back down, and now it's over, because I don't have a dash and you need a dash. So, don't do that. I was watching fucking Eugene play this, and I saw that there's a refill here in new, and I was like, no fucking way. Fuck. But like that. But yeah, so don't do that. Then yeah, so there's a nuance in this. I grab it like kind of. I mean, this is kind of extremely hard to describe. This is another thing where the nuance is all like in my brain and muscle memory. I don't actually know how to describe it. You'll probably. I'm checking. It's not. No. No, it's not. Why did I check? That would have been funny. What if there's like what? But what if there was a secret compartment with a refill? That would be the most fucked up thing imaginable. But yeah, anyways, there's nuance here that I don't know how to describe. You can figure it out. Do only one climb jump here because you don't need the fully reset sub-pixels, and if you do 2 climb jumps, you risk running out of stamina. A dash code! There's like a little problem there, Sleesh. Sorry, if you're like holding grab, but can't grab, you can still get the lift boost from a block as long as you slide against it. You're becoming a rider without grabbing it. Fun fact, new tech relating to that been being explored by Tassius recently. But you can do a bunch of lift boosted jumps off these blocks and up dash there. I like to be not at the top of this block so that it looks nicer. Did I do a stutter there? I don't think I had to do a stutter there. But I sure did. Maybe, did I have to? I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm saying. I line up the pixels in the hand with the pixels in the wall, which happened first try. Do an upright demo. The reason for that is it gives me freeze frames consistently, and I kind of liked that. I guess it doesn't really matter. They're also all demos. All these dashes are demos. Buffer, demo, wall bounce, buffer, wall jump. Except this one. If you demo this one, you'll be crouched here. This jump through will push you up less, and you won't land on top of it. Those who know. Yeah. This part's hard. You want to hit this bumper low so that you don't go over this refill. And then what I do is I hold right and grab until about this gap in the background tiles, and that's where I throw and release right. Do a regrab. I regrab while holding jump to make sure I have slow fall. I'm not actually sure of the exact mechanics, but like if you've ever played Theo gameplay, you know that's important, and it'll definitely apply in Jellies too, at least a little bit. So I hold jump. And here, this throw's hard. In fact, I very nearly died here. It was like half a pixel in both directions I lived by. But I lived. It's possible to take this jelly over these 4 barriers, and it happened once, and it absolutely blew my mind. Here, you can barely see, but like, there's 4 tiles of barriers there. You can Jelly Vader and take the jelly over that, and it blew my fucking mind when I accidentally did that. Was it? Oh, it might have been. Yeah, you might be right. It's here, Imaginal Disc. Say hello. Yeah, reverse hyper, and then do a buffer down left, so that if you miss the buffer, you'll down left into the feather anyways. Then here what I do is I have a visual cue on when to switch directly from right to down, which is as I pass this heart, I'm going to be switching from right to down, and it's going to be a nice trajectory. And I'm going to be doing that and making it there. This room's funny. Here I go when the lava is like there, like a little below this heart decal. Tiny jump on the hyper, two full jumps. It's okay if you like don't greed this. In fact, you want to not greed it just to be safe. This is quite lenient. But I mean, you can see it's kind of getting close there. Ah, feather nuance. This is some of the hardest feather gameplay in the run. Not this. This is pretty chill. But so what I do is a pretty like an optimized turn, right? Like it's I do that and then I slow down. And what I want to be doing is going like more right than I'm going up. If I'm going more up than I am right, then I'm going to be far enough left to where my dash won't end before I hit this feather, and I'm going to like fly up into the lava. Like look at what happens here, okay? There. Basically, I do a little right tap here to adjust to make sure that I'm not too far to the left. Because here, I did end up going... Because I guess, like, here's the thing, right? You're not gonna be frame perfect with this. At least I'm not gonna be. And so look at this. Sometimes when I release, the feather can be like going... I don't know. Basically right tap adjustment to not enter the feather early. If I can demonstrate what happens in the bad case, that is what you're trying to avoid. It's not what I did. Any other falling on the feather? I doubt it. It looks like that's kind of in the way. But yeah, you want to grab that but after your dash ends. If there are any other strat ideas, you can try them out. I didn't do them. And then this is... Yeah. It's feather gameplay. This is hard. This is just very hard. I think you also do want to keep in mind, make sure that you are... Actually, no, that's fine. I don't know. Whenever you're in a feather, tut switches have a much bigger hitbox. Tut switches have a much bigger hitbox. For instance, look at it. Large. 30 by 30, apparently. So that's 1 pixel short of being 4 tiles wide. So that's how you're able to pick that up. And then again, I do some slow turns, like some suboptimal turns where I'm not smoothly steering. Where I switch from up and then to down this quickly, just to do tight turns. And then, right demo through this gap. And then a bunch of jumps. And what you want to try to do is beat this lava. At the end, I do a crouch jump to spend as much time in the air as possible. There is a chance that you are, like, too slow for that, in which case you will not enter this room with 2 dashes, you will have 1 dash, and then you have to do intended. Which is, like, slightly harder. Also, here's another, like, invisible difference between the 9D versions, okay? I'm not explaining, like, but, like, in new 9D... this lava starts moving, like, a little bit later. The lava starts moving earlier in this version, which makes it tighter. But yeah, basically, the reason you keep 2 dashes is so that you can do downright, right, upright demo. The only thing worth keeping in mind here is that you're doing these bubbles fast. These dashes are slow. Like, these are regular buffer timings. But the bubbles are fast. So, like, keep that in mind, you know? And then, lastly, here. So remember that in Serenity when I was talking about the whole, like, there's one bad frame for hypering off the top of a core block? This is also the case here. You want to make sure to not do it on the bad frame. Because it will kill you. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Then here I do a little wall kick to, like, so that I know about where I'm going to be grabbing the block. And to give me some, and to also, like, just make me lower. So I grab the block, I slide down a bit to make sure I fit under this, then right dash. Pretty high up too, because you want to have good height, because missing this is very possible. This is one of the, like, obstacles that I never found a satisfying solution for. It's quite hard. Also, did you know demoing into birds raises you approximately, like, 5 pixels higher than not demoing into birds? So if you're crouch centering a bird, the bird's gonna throw you much higher than if you aren't. Which affects, like, if you do 2 full jumps here, then this wave dash might, like, corner slip. Who would ever do a corner slip on a wave dash? Which is why I don't do full jumps, because I do prefer to demo. I do a full jump and then, like, a less than full jump. And maybe even a right release too. Like, let's look at my inputs. Okay, no right release, but jump release. Easy visual cue for doing this up demo without bonking and being able to drift right good is to do it to where, like, you get freeze frames after dash. Do it to where you start the demo below the refill. And then you're gonna be able to drift right quite nicely. Movement here is, I do a little right release to slow down to make this work nicer. And then this spring will put you here where you can do a simple reverse jump into freeze frames, you know. I don't know if you need to do a fire jump or not, but I do know, you know, again, I'm talking about the 2 different types of jumps off a core block. You can either jump in coyote time, which if you have lots of horizontal lift boost is going to give you more speed, or you can just wall kick. This one, I don't remember if you have to jump in coyote time or not. Even so, even if you miss it, you can use your dash and save it. What I do know for a fact is that you want to not jump in coyote time on this one. Also, try to be close to the middle. Doing a wall jump will, like, make this trajectory here. Let's just find out, because I don't actually know. Oh. Okay, so if I do this jump like early, yeah, it's gonna not make it, and then you're gonna have to use your dash. So you want this core block jump to be in coyote time so that you get more speed from it. And you want this one to not be in coyote time, because if it is, that will happen. But it is definitely very possible to correct for. You just don't have to correct for that if you jump earlier. So jump earlier on this one. Do a wall jump instead of a coyote jump. And then you'd have a dash here. So, and then here's another fun fact I guess I'll get to show in this is, let's have the camera just centered on Madeline, okay? And then let's just zoom out. Yeah. Here we go. Look at this core block. It's very long. It goes well below the screen. And obviously, I don't know if obviously, but the angle a core block is gonna push you is from the center to the player. So it's like, no matter where you are on top of it, it's actually gonna be like a very upwards angle. It's gonna be a very oh god. That's horrid. Basically, what I'm saying is, we'll get there. So once you're here, by the way, if you don't have a dash, the save is to just go onto this block which is just intended. It's kind of hard to do that, but you can do it. What I'm saying is, it really doesn't matter. This block will always just like push you up, and max height will be good for this. I don't think there's a case where you're too high, and I don't think there's a case where you're too low. The variance is low because the angle variance is low. And again, here is that thing again, demo into this bird so that the bird gives you more height, so that a right dash here confidently makes that. And this is a space section. Here you screen wrap, and you also have a lower top speed and lower falling speed. Just get the muscle memory for this hyper bunny hop down. There's a key there, in case you didn't catch it. Free key there. Then you want to just be on the side of this block, jump so you're on the top of it. And then doing a full jump and a down right, like almost every frame works to fit through this gap. And then it's also worth noting, you can stay on this block for a lot longer than you might think. At least longer than I think. Because the lightning hitbox is less deadly than it looks. And the block sinks like way slower the further down it's pushed. So like this is less tight than it looks. And then simply... I did not count my keys this run, but I had the right amount, so... Here, you want to just like land on the block, and I'm pretty sure technically max height works, but technically there's some sub-pixels where you can die. I'm not sure. Basically, I sink the block a couple pixels, and then I do all max height up dashes, and then I make it into heart beating, into last third. Different. Anyways. So like I did it. I kind of just explained middle third in one go. And I don't really know how I did that. I had more stamina than yesterday. GG. I'm definitely done explaining for now. That was like a lot, but yeah. I mean, I guess like non-zero amount of like demo hyper, and that's like speedy movement, but like, you know, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I have explained. It's you get it now, maybe. Did that take longer to explain than first third, or shorter? I know the first stream was longer because there's more marbles fucking around. It took like a little longer, I think. Yeah, first third took longer. This sort of makes sense, because, I mean, I was, like, introducing concepts, and not only that, but a lot of Summit is actually quite simple. Black Karma and Revisit. And first third is quite technical and hard, but it is shorter. But yeah, that's that. That is that. Okay. Fun fact, I'm doing this on the debug file so it doesn't mess up my stats, but it actually is adding stats to like consistency tracker, but maybe I like should have backed that up so that I had the final stats available, but it doesn't really matter. I already scrolled through all the charts. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, this is still something that like has not sunk in yet, really. It doesn't even feel like I did this. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, that's like a common thing I had with this grind. Whenever I took a break, it feels like it's been like so long since I played it. Since it feels like it's impossible and like so far away, and like it's not. Maybe it has a plurality moment. Who's to say? But no, I did do this. I was playing this map. I do know this map quite well. Are the postcards always the same orientation, or is it random? You know, I never knew that, but they're randomly oriented. Fun Celeste fact. Here's a bunch of them at this angle in a row. Yay, thanks for thanking me. Last third, I wonder how last third explanation's gonna go. I feel like it'll be about the same length as this one. Okay, cool. I did 90 golden. No, that's like ridiculous. That's stupid. What the fuck? So right now, the thing in full would be like, what, 6.5 hours? Almost 7 hours of strat explanations. I think we're gonna be under 12 hours. But I also think that it's gonna be like so long. Next stream, final explanation stream. Then I'm like done with this. I just want to like look at it. Like, good lord. Oh fuck. Like I've done. Yeah, I don't know. It's really something. It's really something. That was just like 7 months and. Dear -1, real shit. Okay, here's the thing. This comment called me dude, but like it did say a bunch of other nice words. So I'm like, I'll heart your comment. This one just says GG, dude. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hell yeah, hell yeah, mythical moment. Hell yeah, hell yeah, DayTube is one of the achievements of all time. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy work. Do we want to do like some marbles before I end? Let's marble it up. Who's up marbling it? Only a little bit though. I'm getting hungry, so not so much. Okay. Like a little bit of marbles is a treat. Oh, I have a genius idea. Start prediction. Name ends in E. Yes. No. Also, it's not showing. That must be because I messed. Oh, that's because I made it capture IL spy because I'm stupid. Okay. We're bringing back the winner name ends in E prediction. I don't know if anyone here's name ends in E. So keep that in mind when voting for this prediction. let's do some like dumb shit. What looks stupid? What's dumb as fuck? What's stupid? What do you mean just like a bunch of underscores? Why is it a blank? Why? You can do that? Final destination? Why is... What? Why? Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing that you can do? Alright, let's play this one. I feel like I remember this person making terrible maps, though. If that's true, we're not gonna do this one. We'll do another one in the underscores. Oh, what? What? Exclamation mark play. This looks kind of awesome. Exclamation mark play in chat. And now, whoever wins, like, maybe not this, if no one wins this one, it doesn't count. If whoever wins name ends in E, the prediction pays out. So Frame's name ends in E. I think that's it so far. I think that is it so far. For anyone in chat's name ends in E, this is your chance to shine. This map is probably impossible though. Fuck my life. Okay, I'll start the countdown. That was a good bit of explaining. Almost done with that. I do want to get that done. I'll probably be getting that done tomorrow. Your real name does. Whoa. That's true. There could be loopholes. Alright, surely someone wins this, right? So watch out for the lasers. Okay. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out for that. I see how it is. Open. Hey. Good luck. You're being... There's spades. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard, bulls. Let's not do that one. But there's another one that caught my eye. Let's play... Phantom Carnival. A bunch of underscores is like so... First, like, one of my favorite artists. Secondly, why can you just put a bunch of underscores in the name? Why is there a spade? Why are there... This is a recurrent thing now. There's spades. Do you have to, like, pay a lot to unlock the fucking underscore word? And also a lot to unlock the spade? I don't know how this game works. This has a 97% elimination rate, so, like, you better watch out. It's danger in here. Exclamation mark, play and shit. And I think after this one, if it fails, we'll just do a free map. The winner took 3 minutes. This really doesn't look like a 3-minute map to me, but let's figure it out. Let's see what's up. Watch out for the explosives. Safi in the lead! Yeah, it just says so in the side, but it's not actually true. Open in the lead again. You gotta watch out for the explosive, though. Okay, everyone's watching out. That was good. You watched out. What's happening here? The tunnel. They're just two, like, entirely different paths. These things are fucked. There's literally just an evil obstacle. Every time they come up, it's a completely evil obstacle. That actually kind of looks like you'd be falling onto another track. Maybe. Like Frame did. Is that me in the lead? Hello? Bouncy pegs? Okay, yeah. Now this is definitely like... I feel like maybe you have to pay money to unlock the underscores. I'm going under. Is that okay? That's okay. Watch out. This is rigged? It's not rigged. Also, here's my mod in second place. And here's Frame, whose name ends in E. But, I am ahead of Frame. Why is the world record 50 seconds longer than this? Why is the elimination rate 97%? It kind of looks like this is the end of the map. I'm scared. Safi has died. Command Frog has died. Catgopals has died. Nope. Cat Balls is definitely alive. I was just wrong. I thought you were dead. Do I win? Or do I not win? Oh, do you just like, can you just like miss it and wow. Name ends in E. Let's go, fame. Good luck. Good luck. This is just upsetting. Cat, good luck. Alright. So, me, I'm going again. Oh shit. Firstly, I thought... This is crazy. Where does this put... What? Oh, it just puts you back into the machine. The fuck machine. Oh. Okay. I thought it was the whole map again. So that's why the elimination rate's 97%. Everyone just doesn't make it. This is actually a cool finish, though. So there's like... You definitely have access to more things when you're... Also, good one, Cat, by the way. But you you have more access to more items when... It's more so the whole race didn't matter, and it's just like this gambling at the end. Unless you miss as fuck, yeah. Okay, well, fuck me. So there's about a 1 in 4 chance for name ends in E to win now. Okay, I keep re-entering so fast. I'm literally goated at this. The race did kill some of you, yeah. Imagine dying, though. Couldn't be me. I can't believe I have 90 golden. That will never sink in. I don't know. That's utterly ridiculous. Plus, I'm so forgetful. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Fuck me! That's mean! I won! I basically won! What is your problem? We go again. Are you all stuck or what? What are you doing? Are you actually stuck? It's kinda just me. Oh, frame. But it's literally so hard to get through this. They don't give this obstacle to many. You gotta, this is an exclusive. No. Oh. Everyone has died instantly. That's what. That's why. Funny. I win. I would say my name does not end in E. Like, yeah, technically Nicole does, but like that's hardly even my name. If you think about it, when a name does not end in E. Sorry to say. But you know what does end in E? This stream. Thank you for watching. That was pretty productive. I don't know what I'll do next time. I might, like, do more explaining. I might do something else if I think of an idea. I don't know. But, yeah. Okay. I think I might raid Shredberg. He's doing 106% deathless attempts in Super Meat Boy, which is pretty similar to... I not, like, it's different, but you know, it's like an hours long death, like, come on. Not hours, I don't know, it's long deathless thing, that's like, this is like 90. And yeah, pretty cool grin, pretty cool person.